Hello everybody, this is Shirley Stewart. Welcome to my channel, So Too We Begin Embroidery. Today I am going to talk to you about another hoop that I have used just once, and it's a learning process, but I just want to go over it with you today. It is the jumbo hoop. This is a mighty hoop, jumbo hoop for the Brother PR1055X or 1050. It is 14 by 14 and you must do a split design. So with no further ado, we will get to this demo. But before I go to my studio to put this on and get started, I do like to remind you to please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the share button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can get notified every time I upload a video. So with no further ado, again, I'm heading to my studio and we're going to hoop this jumbo hoop and do a project that I've been working on. See you in the studio. Okay, we are now at the at my embroidery machine, and as you can see, I've already hooped it, and I assigned my colors, and it is stitching now. It is doing pretty good. I just wanted to point out, when you do put your jumbo hoop on, you do have to use the B-arm. Make sure that you put the B-arm on because the jumbo hoop will not fit any other arm. And I found out today, because I forgot to put the B-arm on, and I was trying to do something and it wouldn't allow me to do it. Oh, I know, I was trying to stitch something else and was using a different hoop, and it wouldn't allow me to do it because I didn't have the correct arm on. So your machine is not going to function correctly unless you have the correct arm on. So that's just a little tip on that. But I do have the jumbo hoop on, and this is a very intricate and highly dense pattern that I'm doing, so it's going to take quite a while to complete it. So of course I will have to do it and come back on throughout the stitching to tell you about the progress. But what you're looking at now is my design, and as you can see, it looks like half of a design, which it is. I split it in my software, which I do use in Brilliant software, and I'm using the Enthusiast. I have two modules. I have in Brilliance Essential, which is the basic module, and then I added, not too long after I purchased that one last year, I added the Brilliance Enthusiast. And if you're familiar at all with Brilliance, the software, they have numerous modules that you can add on, but each one of them will work independently. Basically what I'm saying is you don't have to have them all. You can add them as you go. It even goes all the way up to a digitizing module, and I think they have 3, which is Stitch Artist 1, 2, and 3. I do not intend to use the digitizing part of the software since I own Wilcom Hatch. I will be using Wilcom Hatch for digitizing whenever I get around to trying to learn how to do that. I have not tried to learn how to digitize. I have not made one effort to do that. There's so much I need to learn with embroidery that even though I have it and it's paid for, and I've had it for quite a while, I realized when I got it, it was something that I was going to use later on, because I'm very comfortable with Brilliance software and I use it the most. But back to what I was saying, Brilliance Enthusiast has the ability to split your design, and when you're using the jumbo hoop, which is a 14 by 14 hoop, you have to split the design in order to take advantage of the entire hoop. when you hoop it onto the machine, it's going to hoop halfway. It's not going to go all the way on. And when you are done with the first half, then you're going to flip it around and do the second half, which I will show you when we get to that point. And I'll show you the steps that you have to go through in order to stitch the other half of the design. Now, as I stated, this is a very dense design. As you can see how intricate the design is. It's going to stitch the entire half, everything. The font, everything is going to stitch out. And then when I flip it, it's going to stitch the other half, join it together, and it will be a whole design once it's done. So let me point it towards the design itself. Let me see if I can show you a little bit of what is actually being stitched. Let me see if I can get the camera to show you. You can see that it is stitching now. Basically what it's doing, it's going to stitch this entire pattern in black because that's going to be the base. Then it will be layered with all the different colors on top of it, so the black will peek through. So of course this is a long drawn out design, again, as I mentioned, so we're not going to watch the entire stitching, of course not. So when we get to the part of the layering, I'll show you that, but then mainly once we get to the point where we're going to flip it around, then I'll show you that step, and then we will move forward. So this is the Mighty Hoop 14x14 jumbo hoop, which fits the Brother PR1055X. Now, Brother does have a jumbo hoop that is 14x14. It is not a mighty hoop, therefore it has to be hooped and screwed, and all of that is not magnetic. So that is also another option. But I was very glad to find out that Mighty Hoop had the magnetic jumbo hoop, and of course I jumped on that one because I prefer using Mighty Hoop over the regular hooping, the hoops that come with the machine standard. So I will get back with this after the this first part is done and it's time to flip it. Okay, we are now done with the first half of this intricate design. I'm going to pull this out so you'll be able to see exactly what it looks like, but it is the first half. Now, there is a process that I have to do in order to get it to stitch the second half, which I'm going to work on that now. The machine says, and let me see if I can get that on camera, where you can see the machine says embroider the next segment. And so I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to say, please set the positioning mark within the red line, then press OK. The machine will move after pressing the OK sleeve. Now what it is telling me to do is to get a snowman and to put the snowman here. So this is from the camera on the PR1055X that is showing me where on my project that I need to put the snowman. And the purpose of that is to be able to line up the second half perfectly. So it will stitch out and connect like it's supposed to. Now I have to tell you, I have used this hoop at least 3 times, maybe 4, at least 3 times for sure, and I've had trouble all 3 times with well, the first time it didn't recognize the snowman. It took forever. The second time and third time it recognized the snowman, but when it came time to do the second half, the software for some reason did not work correctly, and I ended up having to manually set up the second half as if I hadn't, it wasn't a continuous flow. And I don't know why that happened, so I have my fingers and eyes and toes and everything crossed that I'm not going to have that issue for this particular garment this time. So everybody keep your hands crossed, your fingers crossed, and everything, and let's hope that this goes well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep the camera there. Now you would think this would be a simple process, but it's not, because I'm looking at the camera on my LCD panel, and then first of all, I'm left-handed, so I'm not very coordinated. That's a big problem. But I'm trying to line up the snowman exactly where this is showing up via my camera, and you can see my hand here trying to do it. So I have to coordinate, do a hand-eye coordination, and that for me is not the easiest thing to do. I wish it was. But what I have seen is that other people have had trouble with it too. So it looks like it's just about perfect if I can just lay it down here where it is without it moving. And that doesn't always work. So let's see here, here. Alrighty, thank you. Looks like I got it down there about as good as I can. So I'm pressing it down real good. And the reason I'm doing that is because I am going to have to pull this off, take the hoop off, flip it around, put the hoop back on, and it is a pretty big size jacket back, so it's a lot of fabric that has to be moved and manipulated, and I do not want this snowman to fall off. Now I know it looks crooked, but it is aligned with the snowman that's on there, and I am not going to touch it or move it or anything, because I'm hoping that this is going to work correctly. So I will go ahead and take it off and flip it around, and then we'll go to the next step. So once I hit OK, then the machine is going to try to recognize the snowman, because it has to put into the program where the next stitching is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the OK button. Now as you can see, it says recognizing, and it is looking at that, and the computer is recognizing where the snowman is now. Now it brought the let me move the camera, hopefully you can see. It moved the pattern, the design out. So now you can see the full design, because the table has pulled out, so I can take it off of the bracket and switch it around. The LCD panel says positioning mark recognized, thank you. Please rotate the frame, then press the OK key. The machine will move after pressing the OK key. So when I take this off of the bracket, it's on the B arm, and move it around, put it back on the B arm, then I have to press OK, and the machine is going to go through the process of recognizing the snowman again. And once that is done, if all works like it's supposed to, then it should be aligned properly, and I should be able to go ahead and stitch the second part. The other thing that I do want to point out, because on my very first try I messed up, and I had a very simple design, and I didn't realize that, because when I take it off and turn it around and put it back on, the machine recognizes the second half as a brand new design, and because of that you have to put your colors in again. Now that's a good thing, because with this particular design, the second half colors are different than the first half colors, because I'm going to be doing the face and all of that. So I do have a color chart that I have that will tell me what the colors are by number. Now, you can see this sheet. This is a text that I printed off from Embrilliance, because what I did in the Embrilliance program when I split it, I put, and I didn't know to do this the first couple of times, so I'm learning, and as I learn more. But you need to assign your colors in your software for your entire project, because what it's going to do, this told me what numbers, what colors were supposed to be for the first half within the numbering sequence 1 through 12, and it stitched these beautiful colors out perfectly based upon that. Now when I get ready to do the second part, it is going to be colors 1 through 17, and I have to program those colors specifically according to the numbers, and the colors coordinating with those numbers, because that's the segments in which the embroidery is going to stitch. Then once it's all done, with everything hopefully aligning up properly and connecting like it's supposed to be, and the machine recognizing everything like it's supposed to, then it will stitch this design perfectly with the colors coming out the way it's supposed to and everything. So it's a lot of hopefully it works situation, and I am hoping that. So this second half is as busy or as dense as the first half, because the first half was something around 56,000 stitches. This second half is 56,600. It is estimated to take, well, that's not true. The first half was 12 different colors, 56,600 stitches, and it took 168 minutes to complete. So if you do your math, that was several hours. Okay, 3 hours is 180, so it was less than 3 hours. I would say maybe 2.5 hours or something along that line. But that's the length of time that it took to do the first half, and the second half is going to take approximately the same amount of time. So based upon that, I'm going to go ahead and take it off the hoop, switch it around, and we'll go from there. I now have it flipped around, as you can see. Hopefully you can see this. The camera, you get a good view of it. Hopefully you can see that. I have it flipped around, and now this is to the top, and all of this down here is empty, and this is where the second half is going to be stitched. So it has been turned around like it says. So now I'm going to put it back onto the screen. Sorry about moving the camera around so much, but hopefully you can see this. Putting it back on the screen, and as it says, positioning mark recognized, please rotate the frame, then press OK, the OK key. The machine will move after pressing OK. So I've flipped it around, and now I'm going to hit the OK button, and now it is going to go into the recognizing mode, and I'm hoping with my fingers crossed that it's going to recognize it, because it has to see that, and hopefully it will. I've had it not to before. Oh my goodness, there we go. Cannot find the positioning mark. Please set the frame to the previous position. So what that is telling me, I have to take this off, flip it back around, and try to get it to do what it's supposed to do. It is such a pain. I've had this happen to me before, where it did not recognize it, and I do not know what causes that to happen. I guess I really need to talk to my dealer, because this happens often, and it shouldn't be this complicated, but it has. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip it back around. It's going to try to read the original snowman position. Then I have to take it off and flip it back to this and see if it's going to read it. And that is what's supposed to make it connect properly without an issue. So maybe when I put my hand down there, that's probably what messed it up. I shouldn't have done that. But let's see how we get through this process. Okay, I have flipped it around and now I'm hitting the OK button, and it is going to try to read it. I'm not, thank goodness everything is in the same place, so I don't have to move the snowman or anything again. So I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to start seeing if it can recognize it. Hopefully it will, and we will go from there. I will not put my hand on anything until it's over with. Okay, positioning mark recognized. Please rotate the frame, then press OK. Machine will move after pressing the OK key. So I'm going to repeat what we did a few minutes ago, and with luck, the second time will be a charm. And this would not be such a cumbersome chore if I wasn't dealing with a cumbersome project, because this is a jacket and it's not a little thin thing, so it's a lot of material. So since I have it off, let me see if you can see the machine itself. Okay, this is where I'm putting it on the B arm, and when you put it on, just want to show you this. When you put it on, it's going to go halfway. It's not going to go the whole length, because this is the top half, that's the bottom half. So that's, you have to keep that in mind. Don't try to force it. It's not going to go any further. So I got that part on. Let me get it on over here. Okay, everything is in place, so now I need to go ahead and get this all situated where everything is out of the way. Nothing's going to get stitched down incorrectly, because that's another issue I had. I mean, it's a lot of things that you have to be careful with, especially when you have a bulky item that you're dealing with, which I am. So I am trying my best to be as careful as possible, make sure everything is in the correct spot but out of the way of being incorrectly stitched or accidentally stitched over. So I have it now. We're going to try this one more time, and hopefully it works. So I'll let you look at the screen again. Positioning mark recognized. Please rotate the frame, then press OK. I rotated the frame. The snowman is in place. The machine will move after pressing OK, because it's going to try to recognize it, and hopefully it will this time. Oh, it happened again. I do not know why it's not recognizing it. It doesn't make any sense that it isn't, but I'm going to have to fiddle-faddle with this. I've had to do it before, and I'm going to just work some magic and see if I can't get this to work correctly. Then we will move on to the second segment. Well, as you can see, finally, after a lot of maneuvering, the computer, or the machine, which is a computer, finally recognized the snowman. It states positioning mark recognized. Please remove the positioning mark, then select next design, and that's what I'm going to do. And then it should be able to start the second half of the design. I will have to put in the sequence of the different threads, and then after that we will be ready to go ahead and start stitching um, the second half. I have to tell you, I did flip and flop it at least 3 to 4 times, and I'm not going to call it a hack, but out of the frustration, I'm used to rebooting a computer, and this is a computer, so I basically shut it down. I flipped the hoop, it recognized it, then it told me to flip it again, turn it to where it is for the second half, and as you can see, it recognizes. So I don't know why that worked or why I had to do it that way, but that's what I had to do. So I'm not going to worry about it. It is what it is, but now we can move on to the second part of the design. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the snowman off. It says remove it, and then select the next design, which would be part 2. Then I will go ahead and put the sequence in. Um, okay, well, let's get back here and get to part 2. That is part 2 that we're going to do. So I'll go ahead and set it. Then I will go ahead and go to assigning my thread, and then it will be ready to stitch out, and we will go from there. I have all of the colors selected, and it has started its stitching. It is going to stitch 50,117 stitches. It's going to take 166 minutes. So we will be on pause until we get to the end of this design. Then I will move further. I think I've already done 2 bobbins, or 2.5 bobbins. So I know I'm going to probably do at least 2 more bobbins before this is over with. It's very heavy stitching, but it's going to be beautiful once it is done, and I am hoping and praying that there's not going to be any gaps or any skips or anything like that, and this will come out as beautiful as I am expecting it to do. Okay, as you can see, it is finally completed after several hours. I think the total time frame for the entire design, section 1, section 2, took over 4 hours, maybe roughly 5 hours total. It was over 100,000 stitches, and I have to admit it's not 100% perfect. There are some issues that occurred, which I think the machine, the program in the PR1055X could not recognize the design the way it was split, and it was having difficulty reading everything. And I'm not a digitizer, so I do not know how to correct it digitally. So I do have a fix that I'm going to use to correct the areas that did not stitch. But what I have noticed, it is along the line where the two connect. In this area here and along here did not stitch out correctly, unfortunately, but it's not for a customer, thank goodness, so that's good. And I will definitely jazz it up so it won't look bad, and it will be just as cute as I want it to be. But all in all, it did complete the design. I'm very happy with the size, and I'm very happy with the color, And with the stitches that did stitch correctly, I'm very happy with that. It's just that this one little area in here just would not stitch correctly to save my neck. I had constant thread break, and it actually, what the thread wasn't breaking, it just quit stitching. There was nothing wrong with the bobbin, there was nothing wrong with the thread, it just would not catch and would not stitch. I rethreaded it was the black thread. I rethreaded the black thread. I changed the needle. I oiled the machine. I changed the bobbin. I cleaned out the bobbin area and everything that I could think of. I even shut the machine down and let it rest for a minute and turned it back on, and it was able to go ahead and do some more stitching for me. So I was able to get through the program. So there are little nuances and things that you can do if you run across situations like this. Now, I do have to again state that this is not for a customer. This is for personal use, because had it been for a customer, I would not be able to present this because it is not 100% perfect. But it is perfect for the usage that I have intended for it, so I'm quite satisfied with that. What I do know is that I don't think I will be doing another split hoop with any design that is this dense and intricate. So I'm not sure that this was the ideal design to use, especially with my first try. I did a sample of a very simple design and it worked very well, and then I went straight to this very complicated design, which I probably bit off more than I could chew with that particular situation, because I don't know how to correct the digitized part that did not stitch correctly. So that's what I'm saying. But again, it turned out fine. So I'm going to take it off the hoop and finish it up doing the things that I want to do to complete this project. And so that is pretty much how everything turned out. I'm going to take it off and let you have a little look at it, and then that will be pretty much it for this this little demo. This is the completed design now that I have it off of the hoop, and I am loving the size. It took up just about the entire back, which is what I wanted, and I'm quite happy with that. So this is my final look on the jacket design that I did for this large a hoodie jacket. This is a 3X jacket, and I wanted a big design on the back so it would stand out and be in proportion in size for the large hoodie, and that was the reason why I wanted to do it with the jumbo hoop. So hopefully you will be able to do one of these projects yourself if you decide to get the jumbo hoop. I know that it is well worth getting. I know that. So with that being said, let me show you one more thing, and then we will be done with this this video for today. I just want to show you the hoop itself at the machine, and like I mentioned, it is recommended that you use the table, wide table, or the tubular arm table, which is that little long thing if you're going to use this large hoop. And I just wanted to show you how it goes on halfway. And so this half is out, this half will be stitched on, and when you're done, you take it off and you flip it around, and then you put the other half on like this. So that's how the jumbo hoop works. You're not going to go from the top to the bottom or from this side to that side all at one time. It does have to be flipped. You only do half at a time. So just wanted to keep that in mind and let you know that that's how the jumbo hoop works. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this tutorial or this demo has been informative. If you have any questions, please comment below, and don't forget to subscribe, to hit the like button, hit the notification bell to find out when another video is uploaded. And I do appreciate you viewing my channel and watching what I'm trying to show you. Please put comments in to give me some ideas and suggestions as to what it is that you're interested in seeing going forward. And this is the jumbo hoop, 14 by 14 Brother hoop. This is from Mighty Hoop. Brother does have one that is not magnetic, but I love my magnetic Mighty hoop, so this is what I got. And if you want any information about purchasing this particular hoop from Mighty Hoop, and if I'm not mistaken, it's $215 for this jumbo hoop. Any questions, please put it down at the comments below. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I will bid you adieu.